Hey friends, it's Kabir here. So as we have discussed in the last session that we are going to build a small project in this session based on whatever we learned in the last 4 sessions, right? So we are going to build something like this kind of website. Okay. Now we will be having one navbar like some links, and I want one logo kind of image and my website name. Okay. Apart from that, I will have some sections like car brand section. I will have friendware valuable that section, delicious food section, and we shall add one more section known as technology. And I'm going to give 4 links, right? Whenever I'm going to click on the car, it should navigate to the car section. Whenever I'm going to click on technology, it should navigate to the technology section. So that's all we are going to build. So let us see how can we build this. Okay, so let's come to the VS Code. Now what I have created a folder called projects. In that folder, I have created one more folder called images, and in that folder I kept some images. Okay, now you can keep any images, that's your wish. And I have created one HTML file. Done. This was our project structure. As it's our first project, so let's go with only one web page. One HTML document is called one web page. Now here I want a skeleton of your HTML. So how can we get the skeleton of your HTML is doc tab. So you got the skeleton of your HTML. Now I want to remove this meta tags. We will be discussing about the meta tags most probably in the next session. And here I want to give the title for my website like it's my website or first website, something like that. First website. Cool. Now let us understand how we get the requirements. Now when you join the job or when you join for a project, you are going to get some requirement from your team lead or else from the manager. And that team lead or manager is going to get the requirement from the client. Now client comes to your company and he says, hey Kabir, I want to build a website. Now my requirement is something XYZ. Now can you build a website for my company? Now as a software developer, your manager is going to accept that project and they are ready to build it. Now you have to understand each and every requirement of your client. So let us understand how can we understand the requirements of a client and analyze this, and according to the requirement we can build a project. Now let's start with a story. Now just consider a client came to a company and he told, okay, I have a browser, like we'll have one browser. Okay, fine, we have one browser. Now here my first section should look something like this. Means you're saying I want some links here. Apart from that links, I want a background color as well. Okay, we want some background color. So just consider he mentioned some background color. Okay, okay, fine. The first requirement is like it should have some background color. Okay, fine. Then he told I will have one section here known as a navigation section. I want one navigation section. In this section, I want 4 links. I want links something like, it should be something like cars or something like friends. I want something like food and something like technology. Okay, now he told you that I want something requirement like this. I want 4 links whose should be car, friend, food, technology. Now I want one more section here where I can display the logo. I can display the logo of my company. Okay, I need an image. Here it should be a logo of my company, something like this. Here should be a something logo. Okay, after logo, I want a title. Some title I required. Okay, fine. He told he is nothing but your client. Client is telling I want one more section here where I want to give one title as a car brand and I want to display some 2 images. Okay, he want one title. Then he told after this title I required 2 images. Okay, it should be side by side, and down of the images there should be a name of that particular image. Okay, and after that we need some content as well. I want to display some content as well. This is the requirement of your client. Now we have the further more requirements, but we will analyze after developing these particular requirements. So our first requirement is I want one section. One section means one div. So let us come to our VS Code. Now everything that should be visible in your browser or web page means that content you have to write in the body section. Okay, now we are going to write in the body section. So he told I want a first nav section. So for one section we are going to take one div. Okay, we took a div, means one section. Now let's give some ID to this section, like ID equals to, I'm gonna say nav div. Okay, fine, we gave. Now now he told I want 4 links. So how can we create a links in HTML using the anchor tags, right? So let us create an anchor tag A, and href equals to, time being I'm giving just hash, and he told it should be something like cars. Okay, now I want like these 4 links, he told. Okay, fine, let's create a 4 links. And he told the second links should be something like friends, and the third link should be something like food, and the last link should be like something like technology. Okay, fine, we have created the 4 links. So let's try how it is going to look like in our browser. Open in default browser. Now he told it is looking something like that, but our requirement is something like this. So first of all, we have to give some stylings to this particular anchor tag, right? So for that, if you want to give any stylings, you have to write that all stylings in a tag called style tag, and that style tag should be present in your head tag. So let's first create a tag called style tag. Okay, I have created the style tag. Now you wanted to provide the style for this particular section, div section, right? So for that, what we will be doing, we will be considering the ID, okay, as a reference. So I'm giving hash nav div, means we are telling I want to give the stylings to the ID whose I want to give the styling to that section whose ID is nav div. Okay, fine. Now what we want color should be white. Now we are telling it to the div, right? It will be not applicable for your anchor tag. So just save it and comes to your browser, refresh it. Now you are not finding any changes. Now you wanted to give the color to your anchor tag, right? So for that, what you have to do, you have to write just comma and you have to write A. Means you are telling that this particular stylings are applicable for the ID whose is navdiv and the tag whose is A. Means you are going to apply the styles to the that ID whose ID is navdiv and to that tags whose tag name is A. Okay, now just save it. Now comes to your browser. Fine, now it is in the white, but you are not able to see because our background color is also white. Now your client said, I don't want background color as white. I want entire background color should be mix of some 2 colors. Okay, for that we will be writing a tag, means a CSS for body. Okay, now he told background color, but he added one more requirement. He told I don't want any one color. I want a color which should look some stylish, which should be some attractive mix of some 2-3 colors, something like that. So for that we have a property called background, not background color, it's just a background, and just take a value as a linear gradient. We'll be seeing this in the CSS in depth. As of now, just remember, now it is going to take 3 value. First is something like 45 degrees, and second you have to mention any 2 colors which you wanted to mix. But I don't want to give any particular name of the color, right? I want to give like one pattern called RGB. So we will be understanding about RGB in next session. So as time being, just remember RGB means we are creating a color which is the combination of red, green and blue. and we have to give in that color what should be the intensity of your red, what should be the intensity of your green and blue, and that thing we can give using some numbers. So here I want to say red should be 88, something like that, and your green should be something like 20, and your blue should be 2, means the intensity of that color will be 88%, like not percent but 88 will be your red, means maximum it will be the red combination of a green who will take the intensity of 20, and it will mix with blue as well whose intensity is 2. In the same way I need one more color which should be the format of RGB, and this time this should be something different like 12 comma 99 comma something like 34. You can give your wish. Okay, now this is what the color comes. So save it and comes to your browser. Now just refresh it. Now you are able to see some color, right? This is what I wanted to say. Now you are able to see some color, but what it told, the link should be on the right side, right? According to our requirement, it came to the right side. So to get it in right side, we have a property called text align. Text align is a property, and I'm gonna say align every content to the right. Save it, come to your browser and just refresh it. Now you are able to see everything in the right side. And he told I don't want this decoration, this underline I don't want. So to remove that decoration, we have a property called text decoration should be none. Okay, now if you come and see your browser, you are going to see underline has been removed. Now you want some some gap between these particular words, right? Some space you want. So for that we have margin. I'm gonna say something like 15 pixel. Sorry guys, it's a 15 pixel. Save it. Now comes to your browser, refresh it. Now you're able to see some gap between your links, right? Now the font is very small, right? I want a font size should be little bit big. So for that we have a property called font size. Now I'm gonna give font size something like 20 pixel because that size is default your anchor font size, right? But now I want the size should be little bit big, so I'm giving a property called font size. Now comes to your website and just say yes. Now this is looking pretty good. Okay, now and it is looking very much gap, so let's try to give some 10 pixel instead of a 50 pixel, and let's see how it is going to look. Okay, this is cool. Now depending upon your requirement you can do some changes. Now we have finished the first requirement. Okay, I got links, something like that. Now I want one more section, right? So for one more section we have to take one more div. So we will be giving some line gap between the next section and the first section. So how can we give the line gap? Using the br tag. So br, I'm going to take 2 line gaps, so 2 brs. Save it. Now I want one more section. So how can we create one more section? Using a div. So div, and this time I'm going to say id equals to something like title div. Okay, fine, this is a title div. Now he told in the first I want an image. Now if you want to display your image in your web page, for that we have a tag called image tag. So img, and it is going to take one attribute called src. Now src going to contain the value, means it is going to contain the location of your file or location of your particular what we are going to say image. So my image is present in the image folder, and this image folder and your website is present in the same folder. So I'm gonna say dot slash. It means it is going to come to your main folder, the folder of this file. The folder of this file is project, so it came to the project. Now we have the image inside a project file. Okay, so slash images means we have to give the slash images. It means we came inside an image. Now I want to use some logo, so I have the kabir.jpg something like that. So I'm gonna say kabir.jpg. Fine. Now we want it should be look like logo, so we have to adjust its width and the height. So we have the attribute for that as a width. For the width, I'm gonna say width equals to something like 150 pixels, 150, and height equals to also 150. Okay, now we have to close. Now it is called self-closing tag. The tag which starts and closes in the same tag is called self-closing tag. So this is a self-closing tag. Now he told I want a title as well. So let's take h1 and we are going to say title something like my first website. Save it. Now when you comes to your browser and just looks how it is going to look like. Now he told I don't want it in left side, I want it in exactly in the middle, and the font color of this particular text should be white. Now he told in entire website my font means like whatever I'm going to write some words or sentences, all that font should be in the white. So what would be the best place when you want to give the common font color to all the text? That would be the body, right? Because we want to give to entire web page same color. So for that, color is going to be the white. Okay, fine. Now we have to write some stylings because by default it is on the left side. He told I want it should be in the right side. So hash we have to give, and we have to give something like we will be giving something like title div, right? Title div. Okay, fine. It should be in the center. So text align is a property, and we are going to say this time it's in the center. Okay, save it. Now comes to your browser and just refresh it. Now you are able to see it's in the center. Now I want some curl on the border, right? Some curve. So for that we know what is the property for it. It is a border radius, right? So it's a border radius, but I want to give for all the images. So I'm going to take one separate style known as image, means it is going to consider your image tag, and for this border radius should be something like 30%. And just come to your browser and refresh it. Yes, but 30 is not looking that good, right? So let's make it as pixel. Then comes to your browser, refresh it. Now this is good. Instead of percentage we give now pixel. Now we finished the second one also, but we need some like we already have the gap, right? Now I want one more section. So we're done with the first section, we're done with the second section. Now I want third section. So for the third section again we have to take a div, right? So before that we have to give some line breaks. So what are the line breaks we wanted to give? It's a br. So br. Okay, fine, I gave the br. Now here I want to take one div. Okay, I took the one div. In this div I want one title, h2. I want something like cars brand something. Okay, cars brand. Save it and comes to your so before that let's give some id to this as well. Id equals to car div. Okay, now save it. Now comes to your browser and see how it is going to look like. Now it is looking your left side. So let's try to keep it in left side. Now the text section should like in next line it should come two images. Okay, now the two images should come side by side. So let's take one line gap br. Okay, fine. Now I want a next section where I want to display two images. Now it should be side by side. Now to align properly, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one div, okay, whose id will be equals to like car div. We shall remove this particular attribute. I think we don't need any stylings here. So car div. Now in this section, I want to take one table. Okay, because I want everything should be side by side. So in table only we can do something like that. So I'm gonna take a table. Inside table, what we will have? We will have one tr. Okay, I took the first row. So let us understand what we have did. I took one table. I took one table. In that table, I am telling the first row. The first row, I'm going to take first row. In this first row, I want two images. In first cell, one image should display. In second cell, another image should display. This is what I'm going to do. So I took a table. In table, I took a tr. Inside a tr, I will have first td, which is going to represent your first cell. In this td, I'm going to take image src equals to, and I'm going to give the path of my file. So images, and it should be something like car1. Okay, and what should be the width? Width should be something like 500 pixel, and height should be something like 300. And just close the, save it. Now once come here, now refresh it. Now you are able to see some kind of image, right? Now this is the image of a car. Now I want second image as well. So for that, what we have to do, we have to take one more td. So let's copy this td and just say here it should be car2, and save it, and comes to here and refresh. Now you are able to see two images. Now what I wanted to do, I want to give some margins, like it should come in proper way, like here it should be the image and it should be proper margins. So for that I have to give some stylings, right? So what stylings we'll be giving? So let's take this car div. Let's go to our styles. Now actually we are writing everything in a same page. This is just because we are in the first website, but in future we will be writing css code in a separate file. Then you are going to understand how can we link one file to another file. Okay, so here I want to say hash, and it's a car div, right? Now we are saying width should be something like, width should be 100%. Save. And with this car div, I want this width should be with the table, because table is going to take your content size, right? So I'm gonna say table, save it. Now comes to here, browser, and just refresh it. Now you are able to see something, right? Now you want proper margins as well. So I'm gonna say margin auto, means from all the sides it should be equal margins. Refresh. Yeah, now you got something like this. Now you considered one image here and second image as here. Now you want more two titles, like one should be Ferrari, one should be Mercedes, something, some title you wanted to give. So for that we are going to take one more row. Okay, we are going to take one more row. So how can we take one more row inside here? So just I'm gonna do tr. Okay, I took one more row. In this I want td. In first td I want to tell it's a Ferrari, and in the second td I want to say it has a Mercedes. So something like Mercedes. So just come to your browser and just look here. Yeah, now I want to divide this both sections, so I want one horizontal line between this section and this section. So how can we give a horizontal line? Using HR tag. So how can we write a HR tag? So I'm gonna say here, in between one BR and second BR, one HR, and save it. Comes to your browser and see. See, this is how you have to analyze and think. Now this is your first section, then you have HR. Okay, now you have one title section, now it is HR, now something like this. But now we want everything should be in the center, right? Now it is coming something like these images are coming out, like it's coming a little bit left side, but I want this should be in the center. So for that, what we are going to do, for that particular div, I want to give text align. Text align should be center. Now come to your file, first website. See, now you got something, means the images in the center. Now I want this particular thing also in the center, right? Or else we can, it doesn't look good in the left side. So I want this should come inside the center. So what I'm gonna do, if I want the same thing, instead of giving a separate div for that, I will mention it in the same div, right? So just I'm gonna remove from here, and let's keep here, and let's try, and let's come to your browser, refresh. Now you got something here, but I want some line gap. So let's remove this BR. So we are going to remove this everything from here, and I'm going to give one BR. Save it, comes to your browser, refresh. Yeah, now it is looking a little bit good, right? Now do we want any cars brand? Okay, fine. Now I want to give some content, right? So how can we give the content? Now I don't want to give inside this particular div. I want to take separate div, and in this div I want to say as a p, and I want to generate some content like lorem 100 tab, and save it, and comes to a browser and check it. So always you have to write some code, you have to come and you have to check whether it is fulfilling your requirement or not. This is how you guys have to do always, right? Now we are able to generate some content. I want more content. So what we are going to do, I'm gonna come here, right? One more paragraph. I'm gonna take one more paragraph. So this time I'm gonna say lorem 150 tab, save it, comes to your browser, refresh it. Now you are able to see some more content about the car, right? Now in the same way, I want your friends, then food, then some technology, right? So instead of rewriting every code one more time, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this div from line number 46 to your this particular thing. Okay, now after this section I want to give 2br, save it, and after this br I want to paste it. Okay, we have pasted. Now instead of cars brand, I'm gonna say it's like friends are valuable. Friends are valuable. Okay, now it should be something like friends div, friends div. I'm making spelling mistakes, right? Friends div, save it, and we are going to change the images, and this time not car image, it should be like friend image. It's a friend one, and it should be friend 2, and I want one more td for the third image. So copy and just paste here, and I'm gonna say friend 3, and here I want to give 300 pixel. It should be also 300 pixel, and it should be also 300 pixel. Save it, and comes to your browser. Apart from that, we have one more requirement. I want to change here like best friends. Then I'm gonna say something like ultimate friends, ultimate friends, and one more div. We will be taking one more td because we have three images, and close friends, something, some kind of stuff. Okay, save it and come to your. Now as we have changed the, okay, let's see how it is going to look. Now once you come down, now you are able to see something like this, right? These are the best friends, ultimate friends, and close friends. Ultimate friendship, let's change the name to ultimate friendship. Ultimate friendship. Now I want everything should look same like this div, right? Car div. So what we are going to do for that, just give the car div as. So let's try. Let's give something like hash, and I want it should be like friends div, comma. Is it right? Friends div. Okay, save it and comes to your browser. Now it comes to a center. Now we got some line gap. Now we got some car brand, then friendship valuable. Now I want in the same way, I want regarding some food. I want to mention some data regarding the food. So for that also I'm gonna take br. I'm gonna take one more br. Cool, right? Now we have to copy everything same. So just paste. Okay, now let's copy. From where we have to copy is from this card div. We have to copy, and you have to go down till here. Just copy it and comes down. I think some missed, like we missed some like body. So just remove this body. Okay, save it, comes to your browser and refresh it. Now you should able to see something like cars brand. Now I want to change these images and the content, right? So what I wanted to do here, it should be food 1, and it should be food 2. Okay, fine. And here I'm gonna say food world, something, some content. And here the first one should be yummy pizza. I hope everybody like pizza. And one more is tasty noodles. Tasty noodles. And the T should be capital. Wow. Y should be capital. Fine. Copy it and just come and refresh it. Now you are able to see something like yummy pizza, tasty noodles, right? And this is a food world, and this is our friends are valuable, and something like car brand. Now I want to give one more. Now one more, something like technologies. So I'm gonna say br. I want to say one more br. Now I want to take one more div. Okay, fine. Inside this div, I want to say something like id equals to tech div. Okay, now here I want to take one title called judge 2 as HTML. Now I want to display some content regarding HTML. So P, and we are going to say lorem something like 150 tab. Apart from that, I want some more content about this, so I'm going to say something like P lorem 200 tab. Now we got something like this, right? Now let's see how it is going to look. Save it, comes to your browser, refresh it. Now once you come to the down, now you are able to say this thing, right? HTML, something like this. Now we want the same thing, right? Now I used HTML. Now I wanted to display some information about some more technologies. So what I'm gonna do, just I'm gonna copy this everything, copy, and just come back here and just enter and say something. Come here. Now this is 2. Next time I want, okay, here I want to say it should be something like React, and I want one more time, and this time I'm gonna say it should be, and this should be Angular. That's it. Save it and comes to your browser and just refresh it. Now you are able to see HTML, React, Angular, but you need something different styling, right? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give some styling to this particular div. So we told it as a text div. So let's come to our style tag. Now what we are gonna do, I'm gonna say hash style, it's a tech div. For this div, I want to give some color like background. Background should be linear gradient. Okay, I want to give some values like it should be 45 degree, and I want to mix RGB with some values. So what values we want to mix is like 34, something like 17. I'm giving randomly, guys. 49. You can give any color that you guys want, and comma pink. Let's take this time pink and let's see how it is going to look. And apart from this, it's fine. Okay, let's see and see how it is going to look. Now we are not able to see any color changes here. The reason is this is our tech div, right? We are missing the word tech div. Okay, now we got something like this. Now I want some padding, right? So I need some padding for that. So we know we can give some padding equals to something like 10 pixel. Now just come and just refresh. Yes, now you are able to see something like 10 pixel padding. Okay, if you want to give more, you can give more instead of 10. Let's try something like 15. Refresh. Yeah, now it's looking good. Now it's HTML, it's React, it's Angular. Now we gave something like this, we have been developed. Now our requirement is I want one horizon. Whenever I'm going to click on the car, it should navigate to the car. So for that, what we have to do, for card, what we have give card div, right? And for everything we give some ID, right? So let's go to our first section here and let's change it to car div. This one as tech div. It foods as food div, and friends as friends friend div. So let's check it's a proper name or not. Car div. Okay, car div is right. Second one is our, this is not car, second one is food div. So let's change it to food div. And one more is tech div, and one is friends div, right? Now here, let's give one more, comma, hash. I want to give it as a hash, and it should be food div. Okay, fine. Now everything is cool. I hope so. So we gave everything: car, friend div, food div, tech div. So let's check. It's a car div, right? It's a friends, not. It's a friend div. Okay. So I think friends div, it's better because we have to change more two places or else. So we gave here also friends div. So just change here to your friends div. Save it and comes to your browser. Now when you refresh it, now once if you click on the car, it should be to the car. Now if you click on friends, it should be the friends. Now if you click on food, now it is navigating to the food. And if you click on technology, it is navigating you to the technology. Now this is what our first project is all about. Okay, now this is a separate div. Now we give some color combination. It's look attractive, and you learn some properties of CSS plus some regarding HTML as well, right? Now this is our first website. Now apart from this, if you want to change some color to this particular thing, so how can you give that one? You want everything a different color, right? Now my should be in some different, first should be in different, website should be in different. Then you can use the span tag, and you can write span, separate span tag for my, separate span tag for first, separate span tag for website. Now this is how you have to build the website. Now what I want you guys to do, you first try this one. Okay, now you can keep any images, you can download any images, I don't mind, but try to build same structure. Once you have done with this, then using this knowledge, you try to build one more website. So what kind of website you can build is like, try to build a car website. Means here there should be sports car, here should be sports bike, here should be some, or else no, don't do something like that. Give the brand name of car like Ferrari, Mercedes, okay, Ford, anything, Tata. Like give some 4 brands of your cars, and here it should be like Ferrari, and display the Ferraris 2 images, 3 images, 4 images, that's your wish. Okay, and instead of lorem, try to gather some content about Ferrari car and try to display that content here. In the same way, in next year, instead of friends are valuable, you just try to keep here Mercedes car pics and just try to display your Mercedes. In the same way, you can do, this is the one thing you can do, or else just take a tech website. Okay, it should be React, Angular, HTML, CSS, and just follow same thing. Just give one logo of your HTML, okay, and just display some content of HTML. In the same way, just display the logo of your React, one pic of your React logo. Here it should be React, and just display some content related to your React. And this will be your assignment. I will be hoping that you guys are going to do it, and you are going to send your output in our WhatsApp group. And the persons who are new to our video, they can find the WhatsApp group link in the description. Okay, in the description you can find the WhatsApp group link, and you can join our WhatsApp group so that we can update whatever we want. And regarding the color combination, that's your wish, whatever color you wanted to give, no restrictions for that. So if you build this one, you will get the confidence. Okay, now we are able to build some kind of websites. Okay, at least you are able to build some static kind of website. You will start getting the confidence. So that's all for this session. And at last we have completed our first project, right? In the same way, we are going to do many more projects. Now, once we are going to learn some CSS, then we are building some projects based on CSS. Then we will learn Bootstrap. Then using HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, we are going to build, I think, 4 websites. Then when we enter into JavaScript, then including all these technologies, we are going to build some 2 to 3 projects on JavaScript. So at the end of this series, you should have at least 8 to 10 projects in your hand, and that's our goal. Once you are able to develop this 8 to 10 projects, then automatically you are going to get lot of confidence and you can move ahead to learn React and Angular, and this knowledge will be a key for you guys to learn React and the Angular. So that's all for the guys. If you like my videos, just subscribe our channel, like the videos and share the videos. And if you have any kind of doubts, please mention your doubts in the comment so that we can reply you guys. So that's all. Thank you guys for watching my video.